Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Red Devils TV. And today we are going to talk about top 5 CDM targets which Manchester United should buy in the summer transfer window. And actually getting right into it, before getting right into it, I think we should talk a bit about Jadon Sancho. Not just a bit, not going to delve into it too much. Since I last uploaded a video around 10 days ago, Manchester United have put 3 separate bids. 3 separate bids have gone in for Jadon Sancho, and all the 3 bids are less what Manchester United's valuation is for Jadon Sancho. I mean, Borussia Dortmund's valuation is for Jadon Sancho. And I think Manchester United should stop playing poker. They should stop playing hardball with Jadon Sancho because he won't win it. He won't win it. We have seen it with Dembele. Aubameyang, Godza. We have seen it years after years. They are firm on what they want. They don't. They are not that much fickle that they are going to let the player go for some little. What their estimation is, what their valuation is for the player, and so there's no point. And we have been there's no point. There's no harm in negotiating and getting the price down, basically. But the point is that we have been negotiating for almost a decade. I mean, it's not a decade, it's a pun intended, but actually it's 18 to 19 months we've been negotiating. Man, it feels like an eternity. It feels like an eternity, not gonna lie. And we have to do this deal as quickly as possible because we need more transfers. We are not Chelsea, we are not Manchester City, we are not Liverpool, that we are just only 1 or 2 signings away from winning the Premier League and Champions League. We are not that. We need 3 or 4 signings at least to mold the team into a title winning team. So it takes time. And there's no point in playing poker. We will eventually lose it all. And I've seen it happen with the previous year's deals. Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes. Crystal Palace wanted 50 million for Wan-Bissaka and we offered 35 to 40 million. And then at last we paid 50 million. But it took time. Harry Maguire, Leicester wanted 80 million and we were offering 50, 60, 70, 75, 77 million. And at the end we paid them 80 million. Simple as that. So why are when you are going to pay the full sum of money at the end, why are you going to waste so much time? That's my point. And I get it that Manchester United want to negotiate that. See, if I know that they want Jadon Sancho, but if they don't want to buy Sancho for a price, leave that. There's no point negotiating because we will never win a negotiation between Dortmund and us. So it's not going to happen. So let's just leave it, and there are a lot of good right wingers in the world. So we can buy any one of them. So there's no problem with that. So it's pissing me off. This Jadon Sancho is not playing for the England side in the Euros, and secondly, it's this transfer window. This transfer saga is actually growing to bloody months. It's almost been 2 years, and the joy out of this deal is sucked off. It's sucked up. So there's no point in being optimistic about Jadon Sancho transfer anymore. To me at least. And I think Jadon Sancho is a great player, but I think I think he has to speak up. I think he needs to say that, yeah, I want to leave, and I think that may help us in a bit lot. So that's for the Jadon Sancho thing. And getting into the top 5 CDM categories, I think my top 5 picks are actually Declan Rice as usual, Wilfred Ndidi, Bissouma, Locatelli, and Zakaria actually. Yeah. So getting into and talking about this all individuals, I think let's first talk about Declan Rice. I think we will never get Declan Rice. I think he's overpriced, not overhyped. I think he's definitely overpriced because 90 million. Are you kidding me? 90 million for center midfielder. We can get Ronaldo for that. I mean, yeah, 90 million for center midfielder. We will never get him because we cannot. See, first of all, we don't have that kind of money. Second thing that we cannot raise that kind of money. I mean, we can raise, we have assets, but Manchester United are not clever enough. They don't have the brains enough to actually raise around 800 million for sales more probably, for selling players and I think that's going to help. That's going to help. Definitely, that's going to help. And but Manchester United seriously don't have the brains anymore. They don't have the brains. Back when David Gill was here as our chief executive, we sold a lot of players and raised a lot of cash, actually. And under Ed Woodward's reign, we haven't been able to get rid of deadwoods. Yeah, we got some, but there are still a lot of deadwoods in the club, and we need to get rid of them. So I think Declan Rice is not a realistic target, so that's why I'm putting him in number 1, because we will never get him. And I would pledge United not to pay 90 million for this player. I think he's not that good enough. He is not that good enough. He is not a Premier League winner or a Champions League winner. He hasn't even proven it to the first. I'm not saying that he's shit, but he's not worth 90 million, definitely. And until and unless West Ham puts a realistic transfer budget, transfer money on him, kind of around 60 to 70 million, I think United shouldn't even go close to that deal. Second is that Wilfred Ndidi. I think Wilfred Ndidi, we can get Wilfred Ndidi for around 60 to 70 million. I think he will be a very good deal. But I think it's not that easy to deal with Leicester City. Leicester City have seen us coming. They will see us coming and they will raise their price. I mean, it's not hard to negotiate with Leicester for other teams, but it's hard to negotiate for Manchester United, because whenever a team sees Manchester United coming up to the place, they raise their transfer price, they raise that price of the player, and then we end up overpaying. So I think it's a hard deal to do, but I think we should go for it, because he's Premier League proven. He has done it in the biggest stage. And I think we need someone like that. We need someone experienced like that. And on the third, I think, is Dennis Zakaria. And I think he's a bit injury prone. So I think he's a great player. He's a fantastic player, but I think the problem with him is that he's a bit injury prone and he gets injured a lot. But I think it's a risk taking. But I think in terms of quality, I think he's a great player. He's a great player. In terms of quality, he is one of the best CDMs, and that's the truth. And I think United can go, and he is not going to be that expensive, unless unlike those I have mentioned before, like NDD or Declan Rice. He won't be like that bloody crazy expensive. He's not going to be a 70 or 80 million investment player. He's not going to be that. He's definitely not going to be that. He's going to be around 30 to 40 million. He can even get, if we can negotiate properly. That's a big thing. That's the big thing which we have. If we can't negotiate properly, then that is the main downfall. So I think he's a good transfer option. I think he should be in our shortlist. But sadly, Manchester are not looking into it. The fourth option is Manuel Locatelli. And I have seen him in the Euros, and I have seen him. I think he is very much technically gifted. As much as he is good defensively, he is very good attacking. I think he reminds me a bit of Pirlo. I know Sandro Tonali is there, yeah, but I think he is not exactly like Pirlo, but his style of play is a bit like Pirlo. I mean, he's a deep line playmaker, kind of like that, who is going to chip through balls, who is going to pinpoint passes, who is going to play long balls over the top. And I think he's a fantastic player. I think we should go for him, absolutely. And if you say that out of these 5 targets we have, I think I would definitely go for Locatelli or NDD. I think I will go for Locatelli, because I don't think we can negotiate properly with Leicester City. I think he has improved a lot since the last 2 years, and he has been Sassuolo's best player for almost 2 years. So I think we should buy. I've always been a fan of Locatelli, and not always. Since I started watching Serie A this year a lot. I watch it, but not regularly. But I started watching Serie A a lot because of this kind of players. For Chiesa, Kulusevski, for these young players, I watched them a lot. Serie A. So I watched him, and I think he's fantastic. And I think he's a fantastic player playing in a mediocre team. So I think he needs to move on to a better team which can actually challenge for titles and major honors, like the Premier League, the Champions League, and I think he will never get in Sassuolo. I think that's not going to happen. So I think I would definitely buy him without a doubt. I think I will definitely buy him. And the fifth option is which is actually an underrated option in my opinion, which is Yves Bissouma. So see, why I added, I know this, he is not kind of a specialist in midfielder, but he's a box to box. But he can play in the midfielder. If you have watched that match, not the first match, where it was 3-2, we won the match. No, even not that match. That match at Old Trafford. That remember the 2-1 when we were when Brighton were leading in the half time 1-0, and Bissouma was absolutely great in the first half. And to some extent to the majority of the second half also, but Bruno got the better of him in the last few minutes. When we won 2-1 against Brighton, I think Yves Bissouma, being a box-to-box midfielder, when Pogba and Bruno is playing in the midfield, he completely marked out Bruno. And why have I added this specialist player is that, especially Yves Bissouma, because he's that kind of player who is like, yeah, if you want to get a player who has experience from the Premier League at a cheap rate, that is Yves Bissouma. I think he is a bit like the combination of Ndidi and Locatelli together. Ndidi has Premier League experience, but Locatelli is cheaper than him, and Yves Bissouma has both. So I think we can get him. I think we can get him for easily for around 30-35 million. We can easily get him. And that kind of money can be easily raised by selling some players. And I don't even get started on me this. If I was a CEO, I would sell half of the bench. And let the academy players, the young players who are coming through the under 18 team to fill the bench, and then they will get to learn something. People like Mata, Matic, Lingard, Pereira, Jones, they won't learn anything from being in the bench. They're just a bench warmer actually. They're just a bench warmer. They won't help us doing anything. And there are two honourable mentions which I want to say here is that in terms of specialist centre midfielder. First with Calvin Phillips. But I think I think this is actually this is actually an old school theory that players from Leeds will never move. But and I also kind of agree to it because we have the rivalry which we kind of have. And yeah, I don't expect Calvin Phillips to move from Leeds to Old Trafford, and I don't expect. And he's also a Leeds boy. He's a Leeds fan from his childhood days, and he has played in from their academy. He has graduated from the academy to the first team, so I think he will never come to Manchester United. And second is that Coop Miners. I'm not sure if his transfer to Atalanta is confirmed, but I think people were saying that he is actually joining Atalanta. So please actually know me in this. In the comments that if he has signed already or not, or there is a transfer rumor, or this is going to be a deal which is going to happen but it's going to take some time. And you guys many people can wonder that why didn't I mention the likes of Kessie, Ruben Neves, Tolisso, Alan, many people like that. The reason why I didn't mention those names is that they are not specialist centre defensive midfielders. They are box-to-box midfielders which can do a job at centre defensive midfielder, but they are not specialist centre defensive midfielders. See, we have already a lot of box-to-box midfielders. Pogba is a box-to-box midfielder. Van de Beek is a box-to-box midfielder. Fred is a box-to-box midfielder. McTominay is a box-to-box midfielder. So we need a specialist centre defensive like Matic. And yeah, Matic 5 years ago would actually solve our problem, but he's not that younger. He's finished. He doesn't have the legs to keep playing 50 matches per season. He doesn't have the legs anymore. So I think we need a specialist centre midfield. And the problem with Kessie, Saúl Ñíguez is another option. Saúl Ñíguez, Ruben Neves, Alan. These kind of players are good. But they may be better than Scott McTominay. They're actually better than Scott McTominay if you play them as a box-to-box midfielder, but they can be worse than Scott McTominay if you play them as a specialist centre midfielder. So that's why I didn't actually include them in the list, because I think we need specialist centre midfielder, not players who can actually do a job at centre midfielder. So I think that's the list which I have. So Thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button and don't forget to share, like and comment, and I'll see you next time.